Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Ontario Aquaculture Research Centre. I'm your host, Kaylee Moore, one of the agricultural assistants here at OARC. If you're looking to learn more about aquaculture, you're in the right place. On today's episode, we have Wesley Chase joining us to talk about RAS.
Hey guys, and welcome back. I'm super excited to have Wes Chase join us today. He is going to talk to you guys about what Recirculating Aquaculture Systems are, also known as RAS. Wes here runs our RAS system on site. So Wes, do you want to introduce yourself a little bit before we get into it?
Yeah, I've been here for 3 years full time now. I came back in the fall of 2017, I believe. And I kind of jumped right into RAS at the time. None of the other technicians were too keen on it, and I had a bit of experience from my time at the Aqua Lab, so kind of just found my niche there, and I've been learning as much as I can about it.
Perfect. So we're talking about RAS. So what is the difference between a traditional aquaculture system versus a RAS system?
Right, so the big difference is the use, or in this case, reuse of the water. Traditional aquaculture, you pull from your source, whether that's a stream or pond for surface water or an aquifer. The water's pre-treated, sent to the grow units, the tanks, and then treated again and discharged. Whereas in RAS, we're constantly reusing that water with a little bit of makeup water, but up to 90-95% of the water is reused. So we need much more intensive filtration and treatment to avoid buildup of toxic waste that would negatively impact the fish's health.
So do you find that interest in a RAS system is accelerating, and if so, why?
Yeah, absolutely. There's been a lot of increased interest probably in the last 5 years. It's really expanded. The main reasons for this are, one, there's been a significant reduction in cost of the technologies used for RAS. It's still more expensive than traditional aquaculture, but it's beginning to become much more accessible. Another big component is also the rise of aquaponics. A lot more people are interested in growing vegetables along with their fish, and RAS is perfect for that.
So what would be the benefits of running a RAS system?
Biggest benefit is control. So in a RAS system, you have almost complete control over all of your abiotic factors. So your temperature, your pH, salinity, alkalinity, everything that could affect the fish is under your control, which isn't always the case in traditional flow-through aquaculture or at all in net pen aquaculture. It also allows you to have much stricter biosecurity and allows you to grow species that you would never normally be able to grow in an environment like, for example, tilapia or barramundi in southern Ontario. Normally way too cold here for those species, but in RAS you can maintain the 30-degree water temperature that they need.
So if, say, like someone was watching this and was curious about aquaculture, so going from the traditional, they were going to lean towards more of a RAS system, depending on the species they were using. What kind of steps would someone need to kind of follow to get started? I know that's a whole thing, but briefly.
It's a surprisingly common question. Number one, you got to figure out what's your market, what species you want to grow, what tonnage you want to grow it at, and where you're planning on selling that, because all of your production and the system that you'll use to meet those production goals stems from where you're going to sell it, and if you're going to sell it and make enough money to pay for that production system. Once you determine that, honestly, hire a consultant that knows what they're doing. There's so much intensive math and biochemistry and engineering involved in a successful research system that going it on your own out of a textbook is 99% of the time a recipe for disaster.
So you're just kind of talking about like recipe for disaster. So what would be kind of like the biggest risk going into something like this?
Catastrophic failure can come from a lot of points in RAS, and that's why you want a good consultant and a well-trained staff. You can have ammonia buildup that'll kill your fish very, very quickly. Loss of oxygen can kill your fish very, very quickly. Certain species, loss of temperature can kill your fish very, very quickly. So the biggest risk factor is not being vigilant. With RAS, you want to be constantly monitoring, testing water parameters, and adjusting things slowly, because the systems, while offering that awesome control that lets you grow whatever fish you want at whatever rate you want, are also very, very sensitive and very, very fragile.
So because it's a very fragile environment, you have to be monitoring all the time. What would be one of the easiest or easier species to grow in a RAS system?
If you're a first timer, tilapia. They're robust. They can handle wide ranges of oxygen, ammonia, turbidity. Honestly, you could probably grow in a wet paper towel. But really, they're a very, very forgiving fish and a very easy intro into the world of RAS. And as a bonus, a fish being grown at 30 degrees in turbid water pairs really, really nicely with most aquaponics system. So you get that easy synergy there if you want to kind of start your own backyard aquaponics or garage aquaponics thing.
This is not something I was looking at asking you, but I thought it'd be really cool to touch upon is what species are you currently handling in a RAS system?
In our RAS system at the moment, we have some lake whitefish. We're growing those for hopefully eventually developing a brood stock. And we also are moving in some sturgeon that we've kept here. We want to increase their size a bit. So by using the RAS, we're able to grow them in 15-degree water instead of 8-degree water and get much, much better growth and body composition.
Perfect. That's all the questions I have today. I want to thank Wes for joining me to talk about RAS, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye.
Hey guys, I hope you liked the video today. If you did, please swim on over and hit the like button and subscribe. Comment below if you have any questions you want answered in any of our future videos. Hope to see you next time.